But the other big win for Paul this weekend was this course.
Yeah.
Very impressed.
So well.
I think Nick Carl is on the grounds crew there too. Shout out to whoever they have with this property. You could tell that like there was still some work to do to get it like perfectly manicured, but the way it played and the way it was designed, very impressive. Yeah. It challenged the entire field. It seemed very fair. The holes offered a wide variety of scoring possibilities, which made it extremely exciting to watch, especially down the final stretch. It was scoreable enough where there was enough birdies happening out there, but it wasn't getting shredded. So it was like scoreable enough to be entertaining while still difficult enough to like provide the variety between them. I think it was a really great addition to the tour, and I really liked it as a season opener too. I think all in all,
I really enjoyed it a lot.
All in all, I think it was a big win for the tour, big win for Olympus, and a big win for Paul and Dylan as the course owners down there, because I thought it was phenomenal. The only qualm I had, if I had to give one, was it was hard to feel how many people were out there watching, just because I think several holes, like it doesn't set up well for like all the spectators lining a fairway type thing.
Well, I think you just like really can't stand in the rough out there.
That's what I'm saying. It just wasn't really, so you never got a good feel, which removed a little bit of energy from the event just because you didn't have some of those roars and stuff like that. But that's if you have to have a qualm.
I had some friends that were there this weekend, so I'd be interested in asking them about how it was to be a spectator there. Because I can't imagine that's a great course to spectate at.
It's hard to know. It's one of those, I feel like when you got on the property, it would feel so different than how it filmed. Yeah. But it's hard to know.
Like even just that you literally probably can't really walk through the rough very well.
I wouldn't think so.
Yeah.
I wouldn't think so. But, you know,
they were leaving discs out there because they weren't.
The rough's rough. The rough was rough. But viewership-wise at home, looked great. You know, I really enjoyed it. I think it played well on camera, and it seemed like the players really enjoyed it too. So, like I said, the shots were fair. If you threw a good shot, you got rewarded. The greens were tricky. A lot of elevation changes. A lot of rollaway potential. I loved it. I thought it was great.
Really cool course.
Now, outside storylines. First one we've got to talk about. Don't worry. This is not going to be another year of we talk about the trophy after every event.
I've been waiting for this.
But this one we have to. They handed the winners, both winners, MPO and FPO, just a blank wooden chessboard as their quote-unquote trophy.
Or checkerboard.
Checkerboard.
No way of knowing.
That is fair.
Yeah.
A checkered pattern on a board. Just blank wooden. Now, apparently these were handmade. According to the PDGA financial thing, these cost $400 a piece. Nick Carl chimed in on Twitter and said a personalized plaque will be given to the players who won to be attached afterwards. It doesn't matter really because
it's cool that it's handmade, but like there's a lot of things that are handmade that still aren't good trophies.
Well, like if you're going the route of hand making it, sick, great, okay. Hand make the chess.com logo in the middle of it, or
why isn't it a huge chess piece?
Yes,
Hunter.
Yeah,
that is the only option. It should be a huge chess piece. Why is it not?
I agree. I don't know. I'm not the one. Do you think I decided to hand someone a chessboard?
I'm just like, that's the only thing that it should be. Why did they hand out a checkerboard whenever it could have just been any large chess piece? Like the freaking koozies they had at the bottom of the baskets. Yeah. Take one of those big old chess pieces and give it to them.
They had them all over the course too. Like it was tough. I don't
think about like a marble chess piece, like right here.
Yeah,
that wouldn't be that expensive.
You probably could get one for $400.
Yeah.
But like, could a chessboard be a trophy?
Shouldn't be.
Could it? Yeah, though it could. Like if it was mounted like diagonally on a nice base, you know what I mean, and it says like chess.com Invitational FPO Champion, and if you wanted to be personalized, just leave that next part blank, and then afterwards go get Evelina Solomon's name put on it. That's how you don't have to make hundreds of them.
I agree that's better, but it's
better.
I still don't like it.
But then it's at least a trophy.
Yeah,
right now it's just a chessboard.
Yeah, checkerboard.
No
way of knowing.
Like at least the dyed disc, steering wheel, hockey jersey, Bodor, etc. had the tournament logo.
Yeah.
This one, I mean, the tough look was, I understand that this isn't the case. I understand hundreds of dollars were put into it. Yeah. It feels like thought, not a lot of thought, but thought of some type was put in to at least have these pre-made. But it felt like Jeff Corns is the tournament director. I don't know if this was his decision or not, but it felt like the morning of the final day, someone was like, "Hey, Corns, did you get the trophy?" And he was like, "Oh, I thought so-and-so was doing it." And they're like, "No, I thought you were doing it." Shoot. All right, let's run to Walmart and buy a checkerboard.
Thank you.
That or let's go to Cracker Barrel. Like that's what it felt like when you.
And like
it was just sad.
It
made me sad.
Is like what you're saying. There's obviously more thought put into it, and like we know
I know that's
we
not
know that
what
they
happened.
didn't want to print out a plaque yet because they didn't want to print out a bunch of them depending on who
But again,
wins.
you
Like
just
that.
leave one line blank.
But why on earth is there an option other than just getting a big old chess piece? Like, why is there not a big old king or big old queen or why wasn't there a king for the MPO and a queen for the FPO? I'm making myself more angry by the second.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous.
It wasn't received super well on social media. People who did defend it of like, well, I mean, it's a cool thing. Then people just responded like, why didn't they add the logo to it? And then everybody responded like, yeah, that would have been a feed. That's very low hanging fruit.
Better.
Like at least just would burn chess.com invitation into the middle of it.
Yeah.
Like at least that's like a plaque. Like you would have at least been 50-50. That's what I'm saying. Like at least I wouldn't have tweeted about it, I think. I probably would have looked at him and been like, but I wouldn't have tweeted about it.
You've been like, not my fave.
Yeah, but when I saw it was blank, I was just like, that's just a chessboard.
Yeah.
Like I know this isn't the same one, but it looks identical, $40 Amazon.
Yeah.
I could have said $380 or $360 could have went to the purse. So that was tough. Other thing that was kind of tough that happened, PDGA Live did crash during Saturday's round. Not the best look, mainly because I don't remember UDisc live crashing ever, but it could have.
We would have talked about it if it did.
I feel like, but they got it resolved relatively quickly, and then it worked the rest of the weekend. So in the grand scheme of things, big storyline, I don't think so. Because the other thing that the PDGA Live did, there's still bugs to work out. Obviously, this is a brand new thing they're adding. So, like, for instance, you can't star players. I can't say I want to keep up with Brody Smith, Paul Gannon. I can't have those at the top.
Okay.
But I think they already are aware of that. Hopefully that's a new feature coming next week. You can't look at the like tournament-wide stats.
Yeah.
Like when I go to the stats tab, it's only for the round. So like if I want to go for the entire tournament, there's not an easy tab to do so. That's nice to look at. It's like, hey, how was AB's putting all weekend? I can only see he was 13 for 15 C1X, 87% final round, but then round 2, you had to like go do the averages, you know what I'm saying? So like there's little things, but they've added, like, I can see final round, AB's average putt was 12 feet. He had 218 feet of total putts thrown, with his long putt being made was 25 feet. So, like, that's a really fun stat we didn't have access to before. Because then even, like, his tap-ins of, like, 4 foot, 1 foot are on here and being factored into that. So you can see when someone's, like, really having a very solid putting round. Like, Ricky, 344 feet of total putts, with 60 feet being his long putt, 3 for 8 from circle 2. Like, it tells a little bit more of the round story. So there are some really good additional features. I think it's just going to get better as the year goes on. Overall, I thought it was a win for PDGA Live. I thought it worked fine. The one crash for like a few hours, frustrating, but other than that, it was fine. The other thing that I think was a win this weekend was DGN. I had a great experience. I didn't have a single streaming issue all weekend long. I put a tweet out to say like, hey, my experience was great. How was yours? And I'll read it. I'll check here again. But last night I read through like 40 responses. All of them were saying worked great.
That's awesome.
Which is what I was kind of hoping would happen. All-Star weekend, a little bit of a dumpster fire. A lot of stuff they were figuring out. One weekend later, kickoff of the season, seemed like it went great for majority of people, which means some people had problems that were probably due to their Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
There were still some problems where like some people couldn't get it. Like there's bugs, but there wasn't a like universal DGN is not going well right now. Universal consensus was DGN's working great, which is awesome because they launched a bunch of new tiers and stuff like that. Now, one of the new tiers does promise ad-free. I did see on Twitter where apparently the ad-free stream this weekend was just cutting to the leaderboard during the normal ad times.
Yeah.
So people felt like that was a little misleading because they weren't actually getting extra coverage. They were just seeing the leaderboard. And apparently during FPO stream day 1, it just showed the event logo and the audio in the background was still the ads playing. What? So that I think was just a mistake. Surely, surely they just like forgot to mute a channel. But then someone like had a video of their stream and it was just the chess.com logo in the middle, and then you just heard like Zuka ad or whatever ads in the background. Hilarious. They were like, "This isn't ad free. This is just I can't
nice
even see
free
it."
Advertisement for Zuka though.
Yeah, I just can't even see it. So I think some of those were just like kinks getting worked out though, which like similar to PDGA Live, like Is this the best time to work out kinks starting the season? No, obviously not. You want to like get stuff, especially PDGA Live's at least free. Yeah. The ad free, you're asking people for $20 a month. So like, if you're gonna offer that, better be freaking good. But I do feel like these are just start of the year kinks that we're gonna forget about by middle of the season. I feel like come
still
few tournaments
minor.
from now, yeah, like that's what I'm saying. All in all, way better than it could have been. Like the weekend before, people were just having trouble watching disc golf at all. It sounds like the majority of people that wanted to watch live disc golf got to watch live disc golf this weekend and got to watch a really freaking entertaining tournament. So
one thing I did notice was, and I didn't consume the entire tournament. I just watched little bits here and there, and just to keep up like with the storylines. But I did notice there was a couple moments where like crazy shots would happen and stuff like that. But it's kind of hard to focus on that because it felt like commentary was doing a little too much talking over some points.
3 people in the booth is too much.
It felt like while I was trying to watch a sick shot that somebody's doing, I was just listening. I was in a coffee shop and hearing people talk behind me while I was trying to watch something.
Well, I think the Ian, Philo, and Climo, I think they have good friendship chemistry.
Yeah.
But like Philo and the champ talk over each other too much to be like commentary team.
It's
and
like,
then
I think
Ian has a hard time corralling the stream and getting it back. I don't think those 3 are the best, in my opinion, because I know when it's Nate, and Terry, it goes pretty well. When you have Nate Sexton, Nate Dawson, Terry, I know those 3 goes pretty well. But I think there's a reason that a typical broadcast team is one guy doing play-by-play and one guy doing color commentary. And because it's just like, with the I guide the stream, you provide your insights.
Yeah, because with the 3 of them, it felt like they were all storyteller personalities.
They are, yeah.
So they were all trying to tell their stories at the same time while we're trying to watch a story happen right now.
Yeah.
And so it was a little bit like jarring to watch because of that. Like I felt like my brain couldn't focus on what was happening, but that's me being like nitpicky about it, but just something I noticed.
The other coverage thing I wanted to check out this weekend was Jomez. So I actually got up this morning. First thing, I don't know who at Jomez's editors is cranking this thing out to where I woke up at 5:30 and FPO final round was already posted, but
It's amazing.
Get yourself some coffee. Yeah, get yourself a Monster Energy. I mean, it's 6:50 Eastern. MPO final round's already posted. If that's normal for this year, that's crazy.
And that's barely post-production.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that is essentially live. And the other thing is they also took a step towards live in the way of, like, how you consume it now, because they added in a lot, not a ton, but enough more, like, check-ins on, I won't even call them check-ins. Like, they just mixed it into the stream where you saw people on chase card, like people who had relevant holes.
Yeah.
You saw it a lot more. There was a constant tracker up top of like, this is your current top 3. They cut to the top 10 leaderboard a lot. Honestly, what it feels like is it feels like the Pro Tour was, and I don't know if it's the Pro Tour or Jomez, obviously they're owned under the same thing. It feels like though they're almost gearing post-produced people up of like, you're gonna enjoy how live coverage is if you enjoy Jomez, because it also, to watch it's like an hour and a half long now. It's not, before people were like, well, I wanted to get my quick fix. You can still skip and stuff like that, but like if you're sitting down and just watching it, like the final round, front nine's 42 minutes, back nine's 48 minutes.
Yeah.
As a consumer who I love watching live disc golf, I thoroughly enjoyed the product they put out. Yeah. I watched through FPO final round this morning. I didn't watch through all of it, but I wanted enough to get a feel of like, how does this coverage go down? And I was really enjoying it. I thought they were doing a phenomenal job. But it does push you a little bit closer to that live disc golf.
Yeah.
It's not quite a like, let's get through this. You're going to watch 30 minutes of disc golf and you just watch the whole round. Yeah.
Because before, if you were a consistent Jomez watcher, and you do decide to dabble in some live disc golf one weekend, it's like, it's painful because you're like, no, I just want to keep on watching them play disc golf. And I want to keep on watching Paul play disc. Like, you're like, I want to watch this card through because you're so used to, as a disc golf community, we were so used to how Jomez used to do it. But I feel like this does make it where it kind of transitions people into being more comfortable with that live disc golf feel.
And it wouldn't surprise me if that was an intentional change. And I think it was, and I think it's a very smart move because as the Pro Tour, you're constantly trying to sell people on live disc golf. It's not a jarring transition now. Like you watch it and you're already used to watching people from different cards because now you're seeing it on Jomez. And so then when you decide to watch Worlds live or something live, it's, also some people haven't given live a chance in years. Mm-hmm. They're already going to be shocked because if you go back a few years, live disc golf was basically the exact same shots you saw on Jomez, but with everything in between. Yeah. You were just watching lead card. And it was a really big bonus if you got to see someone who's now you're watching shots from all over the course, just constantly. So I really liked it. I thought all in all, mad props to the Pro Tour. I thought it was a great kickoff weekend, and it got me really excited for this upcoming season.